to a little bit of light, awaiting Moshiach. Rambam Maimonides, in his Laws of Megillah, at the conclusion of the second chapter, Perek Beis, Halacha Yudches, paragraph 18, writes something fascinating about Purim and the times of Mashiach. Rambam writes, Kol Sifrei HaNeviim v'Chol HaKsuvim, all books of the prophets and the scriptures, Asidin Li Batel L'Maaseh Mashiach, will in the future become, I'll just translate the word, nullified in the times of Mashiach, Chutz Megillas Esther, other than the book of Esther. V'harehi kayemet, it shall exist, k'chamisha chumishei Torah, like the 5 books of the Torah, u'kahalacha shal Torah shabal peh, and like the laws of the oral law, she'enim b'teim l'olam, that will never be nullified. V'af al pi shekol zichron atzares yivatel, and even though the remembrance of tzares, of suffering, shall become nullified, shenemar, as the verse states, Kanishkachu atzares harishonos v'chinisru me'enai, the original sufferings, the original trouble shall be forgotten. Yemei HaPurim lo yivatlu, the days of Purim shall not be nullified. Shenemar, as it states in the Megillah, V'yemei HaPurim ha'eleh, and these days of Purim, lo yarim b'toich haYehudim, shall not pass from the midst of the Jews. V'zichram, and their remembrance, lo yasef bizaram, shall never end from their children. So the Rambam is saying all the books, all the other books of the Tanakh, other than the 5 books of the Torah and the Megillah, will, the wording is, be nullified in the times of Mashiach. Now, there's a lot to unpack here in this Rambam, in the words of the Rambam here. But to keep it short, the point would be that the other books, the prophets, the scriptures, when Mashiach comes, their lessons will be able to be derived from the Torah itself. And therefore, they will not retain the importance that they have now. Megillah Esther, the book of Esther, is different. It will retain its importance. And then Rambam says that even though all tzaras, all sufferings when Mashiach comes will not be focused on anymore, we will not commemorate them anymore, nonetheless, Purim, that you have to be focused on the suffering of the Jewish people at that time to appreciate Purim, that celebration, that commemoration and celebration will not lose its importance. It'll remain as is. Even in the times of Mashiach, as the verse in the Megillah says, these days shall not pass from the Jews, nor be forgotten, nor their remembrance end from their children. So at a certain level, the holidays that we have will not retain the importance that they have now, but Purim will always stay the same. So the question is, what makes Purim different? Why will Purim stay the same as times of Mashiach? In the times of Mashiach, because of the salvation that Mashiach will bring, the miracles Mashiach will bring, everything else will become secondary to that. Then why is Purim different? So I want to share with you an explanation that I heard in the name of Harav David Kohen from Yerushalayim. And this was the idea. There is a fascinating comment of the Meshech Chochmah in Parshas Bo, Perek Gimel Pasuk Ches, chapter 13, verse 8, where actually it's a pasuk by Pesach. You shall tell your son on that day, meaning when the Jewish people are already in Israel and the children ask the parents about Pesach, you will say, because of this, Hashem performed for me the miracles when I left Egypt. Because of this means because of the mitzvahs, the commandments that I will fulfill. That is why Hashem took us out from Egypt. So Meshech Chochmah comments, he calls it derech tzachos, which is homiletical, but a beautiful idea, very important idea. So he starts with a parable. Imagine a man, a man and a woman. They have a daughter, an only daughter. They marry her off to a young man, and they set them up with everything that they need. A home, comfort, whatever they need, they're supplying them, and it's a very comfortable start. And the wife is so happy, her daughter's so happy, what a wonderful young man. And the husband says to her, there's something to think about here. Now everything's great. They have everything that they need, not missing anything. Life is great. So he's being good to her. What would it be, though, if, let's say, for some reason, his life wasn't comfortable, life wasn't comfortable, he'd have to go and work hard to be able to support his wife and family. What would it be like then? Then I would really know how much he loves our daughter. Because when things go easy, when things are going good, it's easy to do what you're supposed to do. But when you have the pressures of challenges, then the question really is, how do you react then? And that's when you see the true love. Because if you really love the person, so then no matter what the circumstances will be, the love will be there, the care will be there, the dedication will be there. So Hashem says about the Jewish people the following. I took them out of Egypt and I gave them mitzvahs to do. And they have the Torah and they have the mitzvahs that they do when they left Egypt and when they're in the desert. And then life was pretty easy in the sense that when they left Egypt, they were flying on miracles. Hashem took them out on kanfei nesharim, on the wings of eagles. In the desert, they had everything they needed, water, mun. Sure, there were challenges, no question. But on a certain level, from a certain aspect of life, everything was taken care of. They didn't have to struggle for parnas. They didn't have to struggle for making a livelihood. So when you perform mitzvahs in that situation, Hashem says, do I really see your dedication? But once you enter the land of Israel and you need to work and you need to work the land and there's no more living a miraculous life, you're living a natural life. And that comes with all its challenges and all its troubles. If then you're still keeping mitzvahs, if then you're still following the Torah, that's what Hashem says. It was worth all the miracles that I performed to take you out of Egypt. By Yom Ha'u, and that day when you're in the land of Israel, when you do the mitzvahs then, that's what Hashem says, because of this, I took you out of Egypt. Now taking you out of Egypt was worth it because you're doing the mitzvahs, you're showing me your true dedication and love. And all the more so in Galus, all the more so in exile, that when we have to deal not only with just regular life challenges, we have to deal with exile and all its challenges. And we're still doing the mitzvahs, and we're still remaining dedicated to Hashem. That's when we're showing our true love to Him. And that's when He says, taking the Jews out of Egypt was worth it. So the way I understood this idea from Rav David Kohen was that when Moshiach comes, we know that serving Hashem will be a lot easier then. And in some ways, it's almost like, okay, you serve Hashem when everything's great. All right, there's something to that. But true dedication comes out, or true dedication came out when we went ahead and we kept mitzvahs and made dedicated to Hashem before Mashiach came, in the darkness of Galus. When we kept mitzvahs then, we served Hashem then, that shows our true love. So when Mashiach comes, which will of course be the greatest experience that we're waiting for, to be able to serve Hashem undisturbed, there still needs to be Purim. Because Purim is what's going to show that even where things were tough, even in the darkness of Galus, even in the darkest Galus that we had, or the example of the darkest Galus that we have when we were completely vulnerable, when there was nothing we could do seemingly, we were about to be obliterated. In that period of time, we did tshuva, we repented. We reconnected with Hashem. We reconnected with Hashem enough that He saved us. That shows true dedication and love. If in that darkness, you're still able to reconnect, you're still able to show Hashem that we want to be your people, and they were able to reconnect in that darkness of Gullus to the point of the miracle of Purim, that needs to remain after Mashiach comes, because that's going to show our true dedication as a people to Hashem. So even though the other holidays and the other books, their messages and their lessons will be in a certain way automatic when it comes to the times of Mashiach. Hashem's existence, Hashem running the world times of Mashiach will be obvious. But where is it going to be obvious, our true dedication that we have to Hashem? It will be obvious from our past. It'll be obvious from Purim. It'll be obvious from the example of Purim, an example of Purim that continues in exile, of showing our dedication and our love for Hashem. That's where the true love comes from. That's where the true love is seen. That's how it's manifest. And therefore, in the times of Mashiach, there needs to be Purim. There needs to be that sign that the Jewish people truly love Hashem. Because even when the going gets rough, we still remain connected and dedicated. And that shows our true love to Hashem. And therefore, when Mashiach comes, Purim will continue as it is. It'll still be celebrated fully. May we see the coming Mashiach very soon, and may we be able to celebrate Purim in the times of Mashiach. This has been a little bit of light. Have a wonderful Shabbos. Have a very joyous Purim. And again, let's show Hashem our dedication, our love, while we're still in Gullus. And that will show our true dedication. Thank you for listening.